Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I wanted to talk about the Amazon Merch tier up system because I know there were some new people that got into Amazon Merch recently, and for people that have been in for a while, there's still questions about how tier ups work because I feel like this year specifically, 2022, the entire tier up system became a lot less consistent, or maybe these are just permanent changes. Only time will tell, but I'll elaborate on all of that in this video, so let's get right to it. Real quick reminder, check out my free Amazon Merch mini course. It's linked in the description. I just need your email address. I'll send you one lesson a day for 7 days to help get you started. Also, I've got a great Amazon Merch Facebook group that I hope you'll join. The link is in the description. So guys, the tiers in Amazon Merch, they have changed over time. So this picture behind me is probably the best one I've been able to find to date. All right, and if you want this graphic, I will link to it in the description so you can check it out. But it's changed over time, right? Like, take a good look at it and understand that your path may look like this. It may deviate. I'll explain. My personal path, I went from tier 10 to tier, and by the way, I got into Amazon Merch in 2017, so I've been in it for a while. I went from tier 10 to 25 to 100 to 500 to 1,000. Okay, that part I don't think ever changes. And by the way, I've never heard of anybody skipping a tier. I did hear once where it sounded like there was a bug where people skip tiers, but then they were rolled back. So I don't think you can skip tiers, even if you make a whole, like if you make 1,000 sales in tier 10, you don't skip to tier 2,000. You know what I mean? You go to 25. So from tier 1,000, I went to 2,000. Then I went to 4,000. Then I went from 4, I went to 6, 6 to 8, and 8 to 10. Now here's where I am deviating in my personal experience from this chart. I went from tier 10,000 to 20,000, and I went from tier 20,000 to 100,000. Okay, so I went from the little unicorn to the 3D unicorn here. By the way, the official like Amazon Merch team has nothing to do with these monsters. This is from Pretty Merch, which is my favorite Chrome extension for Amazon Merch, and I would recommend checking that out. There's a free version and an upgraded version. I mean, I use the upgraded version. I've been using it since like, I think 2017, 2018. Also, like there's a Black Friday deal coming up, I'm sure. And that's how I locked in my deal. I just did the annual recurring Black Friday, get the lowest deal. And it's been working great for me. So I would recommend that. It's coming up. And I'll let you guys know if you're on my, if you're subscribed, you're on my newsletter so you can get the best discount. Anyways, so it seems at some point, like I think maybe in 2021, if I, it's tough. I'm on the outside looking in and I only have my one account to speak to, but obviously with like my Facebook group, for instance, a nice way of networking with other sellers and learning from their experience. It seems like maybe in 2021, you stopped getting the tier 20,000 to 100,000 and then 100,000 to 200,000. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm in tier 200,000 now. And somebody told me there's like a 300,000. So, and it doesn't, I mean, if that's the case, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know if there's a monster for it yet. But I haven't seen it either myself, just to be 100% honest with you guys, but I have heard from people that I trust. So I do think that exists. So that being said, I think since 2021, you may go from like tier 10,000 to 12,000 and then 12 to 14, 14 to 16, 16, I guess to 20, because it doesn't look like there's an 18,000 there. And then maybe from 20 to 22 to 24 to 26. And after that, perhaps to tier 100,000. I mean, here's the thing, guys, like there is a resources tab on Amazon Merch. Even if you're not actually in Amazon Merch, you can view the resources. They don't have any official like publicly disclosed tier up reference. And it may be that like this has just changed with time. So they don't want to put a public reference out because they reserve the right to deviate from it. And they don't want somebody to have to constantly rewrite it and keep it up to date. I'm just guessing. But I did want to be clear that like, number one, you can't skip tiers. I've never seen that. The tier up system does tend to change. We've seen that over time. And I think the most accurate like kind of projection is what you're going to see here behind me. Now, that being said, the next thing you're probably wondering, how many sales do we need to tier up? And I want to answer that it's not just about sales. It's two-factor. And okay, and this is not publicly disclosed, but I'm very confident in sharing this. You need to make roughly 60 to 70% of your tier in sales. So if you're in tier 10, you need probably 6 or 7 sales. And this is not an exact science because I have seen times where you might be at like 40% of your tier in sales or 50% and still get tiered up. But I'm saying generally speaking, 60 to 70% of your tier in sales. Okay, so tier 10, you need 6 or 7 sales. Tier 100, you need 60 or 70 sales. you also need to fill your upload slots. So there are people who are eligible to be tiered up. They haven't filled their slots, so they aren't getting tiered up. And I would recommend fill your slots. These tier ups, and that's the next question I'll answer. How often do they come? When do they come? It seems in 2022, they have not come as often as they used to. A lot less predictably, I would say as well. So you definitely don't want to miss a tier up that you should catch because I don't want to say you were lazy about uploading, but you didn't fill your upload slots, however you want to frame that. You know what I mean? And especially with publish settings, it's not that hard. Like even if you don't want to use upload automation, you can still upload manually. Use the publish settings where you can save your upload settings, and then just keep uploading new designs to standard t-shirts only. Just rifle through them. Amazon Merch also got a lot more lenient with their throttling this year. Because in the past, that was a huge pain in the butt. I was constantly being throttled and uploading just took forever because you couldn't go fast. Just so you guys know, I manually uploaded 13,000 plus designs before I ever used automation. It was a lot easier to do though, because initially when I was in Amazon Merch, they didn't have a throttling mechanism built in. So I would literally go on 9 browser tabs at once. And if you didn't know this, you can go to your keyboard, you can hit Control and then go to 1 to go to tab 1, Control 2, tab 2, Control 3, tab 3, etc. And I would just upload like that basically as quickly as I possibly could. Upload automation has been a game changer though. That's what helped me get to tier 200,000. But yeah, you don't want to miss a tier up because you didn't fill your upload slots. So 60 to 70% of your tier in sales, 60 to 70% of your tier in filled upload slots is what I would recommend. Now, the last thing I can think of to talk about is when do the tier ups occur? And they are at unknown intervals. They tend to happen for everybody at once, okay? But that doesn't mean, I guess a better way of framing it is everybody who's going to be tiered up, it's going to happen for you all at once on the same day. That's why if you're in the Facebook community, you'll see often a lot of people celebrating tier ups at the same time. In 2022, it feels like there's been a lot less tier ups. And it feels like there's been a lot less people admitted into Amazon Merch, a lot more rejections. I have no clue why. If anybody from the merch team wants to reach out, my email is ryan@ryanhogue.com. Feel free. I'd love to have a chat. But otherwise, I'm just kind of spectating from the outside looking in. But yeah, so the tier ups, for instance, like Marielle, her account, she was eligible to get to tier, I think 500 or 1,000. I should know this, but I think it was 500 from 100. She waited for like 3 months longer than she should have needed to. And in the meantime, we were seeing other people get tiered up and she was just being skipped. So every time I saw people posting about tier ups, I would be like, hey, check your account. And she'd check her account, nothing. And then finally, nothing changed on her end. She had all the sales. She had all the upload slots filled. Finally gets tiered up. We don't know why. But hey, at least you got those new upload slots. You know what I'm saying? But it certainly used to be easier from my perspective to kind of scale through the merch journey, right? Like I always think of, generally speaking, the amount of sales you make as a function of how many products you have online for sale, because most people don't get like a #1 bestseller. So the number of sales they get might just be a function of how many products they have for sale. How many products you have for sale is obviously limited by your tier. So we want to be in higher tiers. So I wish I had like a better answer as far as like, can we expect things to change? But I don't know. The way that they're trending right now, 2022 was a little bit tough. Fortunately, it's Amazon Merch, right? It's free. This is as close to free money as you'll ever get. So it's like, okay, Ryan, what do we do? It's like, well, we don't control it. So stay the course. Just keep grinding. Keep getting as many sales as you can. Keep filling your upload slots. If you have access to ads, run your ads. By the way, I think around tier 500, you get access to ads, generally speaking. I heard people getting access to ads in tier 100, but only a few, very few. So I think most of the time it's going to be tier 500. You get access to ads. So that's really it, guys. I mean, we're heading into really the peak sales season. I'm going to do a new video on this tool called Merch Flow, which helped me in tier 200,000 down here. Helped me export all of my ASINs. And unlike Productor, I'm not hating on Productor, by the way, great extension, but Productor crashes for the higher tier people. So it's like been a huge challenge to export my ASINs to run ads. Merch Flow is like basically built for high tier people to be able to do, anything that we need to do, updating products, delete products, etc. Export ASINs though, so we can run ads. So I'm doing a lot of that recently, and then also simultaneously holding office hours for people in my private community to come talk to me while I am kind of just sitting there grinding away, because it's going to take a couple hours to create all of these ad groups with, you can only do 1,000 ASINs at a time per ad group. So A little bit of a tedious process there, but definitely worthwhile. All right, guys, thanks for watching, though. Please follow me on Instagram. I post daily Amazon merch sales updates. I always put a link to my Instagram in the description. Check out my full Amazon merch course. If you're new, you want to learn my exact methods that took me from tier 10 to tier 200,000. That's linked in the description, guys. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.